Views expressed in the videos are my observation, analysis of events, persons based on principles of astrology. It's not my intent to predict, forecast absolute outcomes, only suggest how they may unfold. Nothing is set in stone. I could be wrong, but often I'm right. My desire is not to promote fear, only inform about what we see unfolding. It is our wish to prepare our subscribers for events that could affect them, their family, their goals, and their future, to help to prepare for what you may already suspect is happening, and to send a warning shot across the bow and raise a flag of concern. Our goal is to help, not hinder, in these perilous times, to inspire and offer possible direction, and to reveal that a greater plan and purpose are behind all that is happening. Eventually, we will see a brighter day. If you would like to show your appreciation for our work on these videos or this channel, and also the Knowing Whispers channel, you can always click on the word thanks at the bottom of all the videos. Hello everybody, it's Robert Cosmar of the Astrology of Life YouTube channel, and also the 3 Substack newsletters, Knowing Whispers, Messages from the Universe, Trump in America, and Ask the Astrologer. Somebody had asked in the YouTube channel in the community section if I'd looked at the chart for the Democratic National Convention. So I thought I would go ahead and put this in there because I know that's something which many of you are concerned about, and I will express my opinion here in a moment about that particular convention. I tried to find out when the convention actually starts, and it was kind of convoluted and didn't make a lot of sense. So I went with 12 a.m. on the 19th. And I think it's the 19th to the 22nd in Chicago, Illinois. And this here is the chart for 12 o'clock a.m. Chicago, Illinois. Okay, the energy of that location at that particular time. Now, during the day, the moon's going to change, and that can change some of the aspects that I'm talking about here. But truthfully, the main factors here in this particular chart are not relative so much to the moon. They are to Saturn and to Uranus. And my feeling overall in just taking a look at this is that this will not probably be as joyous as the period that the Democrats are going through right now. The overriding popularity of Kamala Harris and the overriding motivation for people who have donated, and also for people that are willing to be a part of the campaign. And of course, these emotions are very deceptive, and they fluctuate based upon, the day's news and stuff. And as I've been cautioning my subscribers all along, this period in the summer here, we're coming into August, already has been quite up and down, chaotic. And the period from September on through the election itself is going to be equally as disruptive, and maybe more vicious, and more stressful, and more worrisome than even this particular period in we're right now. Okay? Now, this particular chart is the chart of the energies represented in Chicago. Okay, so they're kind of an outside influence, all right, and yet they will affect, okay, like transits to a person's chart, they will affect the person's behavior, all right. And the two things here that are fairly obvious here, when you take a look at the aspectarian on the left-hand side, you can see here that Uranus squares the Sun, the Moon, and Mercury. Uranus, the unexpected. Uranus, revolution. Uranus, liberation. Okay? I would kind of go to the level of unexpected, though. All right? Another thing that I found out in looking at my book of rulerships that I want to remind you of here. And hopefully you'll remember this, and I'll remind you about this as I look at the long-range process here of September, October, and November, and how these events will be affecting Trump and Kamala Harris. Uranus and Neptune in the 12th house rule voting. Okay? So when I'm talking about Uranus here, from here on out, keep in mind that it rules voting. And that very much so when you're taking a look at the month of, let's say November, in regards to Kamala Harris's chart, there's an aspect in there that could imply that the vote is delayed or that there is problems with the vote. And I've already mentioned the fact that there's a very good possibility, and I may do a video too on the Supreme Court relative to that time, to show some of the potential energies that are at play there and how that may influence and affect the outcome of everything, because it's going to be a very vicious, nasty, process. And the thing that we don't know, but that we will have to see and deal with, is the tremendous impact this has on Kamala Harris. No one knows until she goes through this how she will handle this, and if she'll be able to find that inner strength to be able to combat this. This is one of those situations where, you can get caught up in the excitement of such an opportunity, but then when you're in that position and they start throwing rocks at you, how you handle the rocks are going to be the big thing. And in Trump's case, it'll probably be boulders and rocks and many unknown things. This is the thing that I've mentioned before, and if you've had any experience with criminality or any kind of thing like that, you know that the criminals always have the upper hand, because unless you're given information, you don't know what they're planning on doing. So Trump will utilize that to great advantage. All right. The other factor here too is there's a lot of Saturn energy, Saturn opposing Venus, Saturn squaring Mars, Saturn squaring Jupiter. So this makes me wonder whether or not there's going to be some disagreement in this convention, whether there will be an attempt to block Kamala Harris, whether there will be chaos, unexpected chaos here, because Uranus is having an impact here on the sun and the moon. The sun representing the organizers, the head, and the moon representing the body of those that are there, as delegates. And of course, this could be also outside unexpected things too. The month of August is not particularly kind to Trump. About this same particular time, keep in mind, he has Saturn, transiting Saturn, opposing his Uranus. He also has a progressed Venus squaring his natal Saturn. And these are pretty critical at this particular time in terms of what outside influences may be coming to him. This could be possibly a prelude to the judgment that the judge has to, the sentencing actually that the judge has to place upon him in September. But we have a lot of things going on in September. There's some significant things going on. Remember that Uranus is going to square the moon. Okay, there's other pressures upon Trump and Kamala Harris at this time. So it's going to be a heavyweight fight, and it's going to be who lands the heavy knockout punch coming into the last period there of the election itself. And is it going to be a draw or appear to be a draw because of cheating and things of that nature that go on as we move towards that particular election? This is more serious for everybody, but it's more serious for Trump because his whole future is based upon winning this election in terms of what he hopes to achieve. And of course, equally, we don't want him to achieve any of that. So the pressure is also on the other side of the coin there. So keep in mind here that when we're talking about the convention itself, that don't be surprised if the impression that people have about the convention is not horribly positive, or that you get a feeling like things are not going to be as simple and easy as you thought they were. And again, as I mentioned here a little bit ago, that things are not going to be going really well for Donald Trump this month. They're already not looking well. But as I've mentioned many times before, Donald Trump has his own little secret box of devious plans to execute. And they will ultimately come out. They're already starting to come out with attacks on Kamala Harris, her race, whether she's Indian or whether she's black, this type of thing. You know, all the little absurd things that Trump likes to do. And of course, Kamala has fired back. It is difficult to determine at this point whether Trump is going to debate her. I looked at September the 10th. It does not look particularly good for Kamala Harris on that particular day. And as I have indicated and will indicate in other videos here, there are many things going on around her that are not obvious. Because again, the enthusiasm, the excitement, the response to her has been so overwhelmingly positive. But things change, and it's a whole different ballgame when you're being assaulted and you're not quite sure what it is you're going to be attacked by or attacked with. So keep in mind that this whole period between now, August, is really a beginning of the difficult part moving into the election. And I will cover in another video this time frame, as I mentioned, of the USA chart, the Trump chart, and Kamala Harris's chart. I'm going to be using the graphic ephemeris to show you how these things line up and how you can expect there to be changes, you know, in the mood, changes in the sense of enthusiasm as we move towards that objective, and then the finality, so to speak, or the maybe delayed finality that's going to come about probably around the election itself, along with some very possibly violent reaction to that. And again, as always, the most important thing in all of this is that you maintain your inner center within yourself, and that you trust the universe, okay? Because we do not have control over what's going on, not the way that it is. Okay, this is a lesson. This is one of those situations in life where you have to endure something regardless of how it goes, and you have to be willing to learn from it and then apply that learning to yourself, and not let yourself get carried away by all the emotion that will be going on through this entire period of time. Okay, I wanted to get this in because somebody had requested it, and again, I've got several other videos to do that I'll keep rolling out there as time allows, and as things begin to happen. It sometimes is overwhelming, the amount of information coming out, and then trying to find it in the charts and then to show that to you here. But I feel it's important that you have that sense of, you know, at least getting an understanding astrologically of what's going on. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, over on Substack, my partner CJ has two newsletters over there. One's called CJ's World, the other one's called CJ's Whispers of Awareness. My three are Knowing Whispers, Messages from the Universe, Trump in America, where I talk about Donald Trump and his effect upon America, and then Ask the Astrologer for folks that want to ask me questions about astrology, any kind of questions about astrology. Those of you that are members and subscribers, those of you that make donations, whether it's occasionally or monthly, thank you so much for your support. It is helpful and it is appreciated. And from the love of my life, CJ, my spiritual partner and my best friend, we thank you, and we look forward to being of service to you through this time period, very critical time period in America, and we hope that you are benefiting from the work that we're doing. So have a great weekend.